The boot slammed into the German shepherd's ribs. The dog screamed, and Cole Hartley's 15 years of Navy SEAL training exploded out of his body like a grenade. He shattered the first man's arm in 2 seconds, crushed the second man's throat before anyone could blink. The third one ran, but someone was filming. The video went viral by midnight, and by morning the men who murdered Cole's sister knew exactly where to find him. They thought he was broken. They thought he was weak. They had no idea they just woke up the deadliest man in Detroit. Before we begin, tell us where you're watching from. If this story touches your heart, please subscribe and follow until the very end. Drop a comment with your city so I can see how far this story travels. The October wind cut through Detroit like a knife through old wounds. Cole Hartley sat on that park bench with his eyes closed, but he wasn't sleeping. He was listening. 15 years of combat had rewired his brain to catalog every sound within a 50-yard radius. Footsteps, 3 sets, heavy boots, moving with the swagger of young men who had never faced real danger. Ranger's ear twitched. The Belgian Malinois pressed closer to Cole's leg, a low growl building in his throat. "Easy, boy," Cole whispered. "Not yet." He was 34 years old, but he looked 50. The traumatic brain injury from his last mission had stolen 40 pounds from his frame and put gray in his beard. His clothes were wrinkled, his jacket torn at the shoulder. He looked exactly like what he wanted to look like. Invisible. "Hey, old man." The voice was young, arrogant. "You deaf or something?" Cole didn't open his eyes. "I'm talking to you, homeless trash." The footsteps stopped directly in front of him. Cole could smell cheap cologne and marijuana. He kept his breathing steady. "Maybe he's dead," a second voice said. "Look at that ugly dog. Thing's only got one eye." Ranger's growl intensified. "Yo, Marcus, check his pockets. Bet he's got something." Cole felt a hand reach toward his jacket. He let it happen. "Not yet." "Nothing but lint, man. Waste of time." "Nah," the first voice said. "I want that dog. Pit him in the fights. One-eyed freak might be worth something." Cole's eyes opened. The leader was maybe 22. Gold chain. Face tattoo of a viper coiled around his neck. His 2 friends flanked him, all wearing the same red bandanas. Viper Kings. Cole had done his research on Detroit's gangs when he arrived 2 weeks ago. "Walk away," Cole said. His voice was quiet, controlled. "Take your friends and walk away." Marcus laughed. "Or what gramp are you gonna cough on me? I'm giving you 1 chance, that's more than most people get." The second gang member, shorter and stockier, stepped closer to Ranger. "Shut up, old man. We're taking the dog." "No," Cole said. "You're not." "Yeah." The short one pulled back his foot. "Watch me." His boot connected with Ranger's ribs. The dog yelped, and Cole Hartley stopped being invisible. He moved with a speed that defied his weathered appearance. His left hand shot up, catching Marcus's reaching arm. His right hand drove upward, palm connecting with the elbow joint. The crack echoed across the park. Marcus screamed, his arm bending at an angle that arms were never meant to bend. The stocky one who kicked Ranger stumbled backward, reaching for something in his waistband. Cole was already there. He grabbed the man's wrist, twisted, and the cheap pistol clattered to the ground. A knee to the solar plexus dropped him. The third gang member ran. Cole let him go. He stood over the 2 groaning men, his chest barely rising. Ranger limped to his side, pressing against his leg. "You okay, boy?" Cole knelt, running his hands along the dog's ribs. Nothing broken, just bruised. "That's my good boy." "You're dead," Marcus gasped, clutching his shattered arm. "You hear me? The Vipers are gonna kill you. You're dead." Cole looked at him with eyes that had seen things these boys couldn't imagine in their worst nightmares. "I've been dead before," Cole said. "Didn't take." He picked up the discarded pistol, ejected the magazine, and cleared the chamber. He dropped the pieces in the trash can beside the bench. "Tell your boss what happened here," Cole said. "Tell him there's a new dog in Detroit. Tell him to stay out of my way." He walked away, Ranger limping beside him. He didn't see the teenage girl on the bench across the pathway, her phone raised, capturing everything. The video hit 200,000 views in 3 hours. Cole found out when Maya Santos showed up at his motel room door. She was small, maybe 5'3", with dark hair pulled back in a ponytail, and exhaustion carved into the lines around her eyes. She wore scrubs under her jacket and clutched a manila folder against her chest like a shield. "Cole Hartley?" she asked. Cole's hand was already on the knife tucked into his belt. "Who's asking?" "My name is Maya Santos. I was Sarah's best friend." The name hit him like a bullet. Sarah. His sister. His only family. Dead 2 weeks ago. "I don't know who you are," Cole said, starting to close the door. "I'm not interested." Maya's foot blocked the door. "She talked about you constantly, her big brother, the hero, the one who was going to come home and save the world." Her voice cracked. "She was murdered, Cole. And I can prove it." Cole stared at her for a long moment. Behind him, Ranger whined softly. "5 minutes," Cole said, stepping aside. "Then you leave." Maya entered the cramped motel room, her eyes scanning the sparse furnishings. A duffel bag on the bed. A tactical knife on the nightstand. Nothing else. "How did you find me?" Cole asked. "The video. I recognized Ranger." Maya's eyes found the one-eyed dog. "Sarah showed me hundreds of pictures. She was so proud that you trained him, that you served together." Cole's jaw tightened. "The police said she overdosed." "Sarah never touched drugs in her life. She was a social worker. She spent every day saving kids from addicts. The idea that she would—" Maya's voice broke. She took a breath. "It's a lie. They're covering something up." Maya opened the manila folder. Inside were photographs, documents, handwritten notes. Sarah was investigating something. Children disappearing from the foster care system. Not runaways, not transfers. Vanishing. She documented 47 cases over 3 years. Cole took the folder. His eyes moving over the pages. Names, ages, last known locations. All children, all gone. "She was going to the FBI," Maya continued. "She had a meeting scheduled for the morning after she died. Convenient, right? Who knew about the meeting? I don't know, but I know who signed off on her death certificate without ordering a toxicology report." Maya pulled out another document. "Captain Frank DeLuca, Detroit PD. He closed the case in 48 hours. Cole studied the name. "You think he's involved? I think he's paid to look the other way. I think someone powerful is making children disappear. And I think Sarah died because she was about to expose them." Cole set the folder down. His hands were trembling slightly. The TBI made it hard to control the shaking when emotions ran high. "Why come to me? Why not go to the FBI yourself?" Maya laughed bitterly. "I tried. I called the same agent Sarah was supposed to meet. They told me the case was closed. Federal jurisdiction wasn't warranted." She met his eyes. "Someone's buying protection at every level. I need help from someone they can't buy." Cole looked at Ranger. The dog looked back with his one good eye. "I'm not a soldier anymore," Cole said quietly. "I'm broken. The doctors say my brain is scrambled. I get headaches that make me want to die. I forget words. Sometimes I forget where I am. I don't need a soldier." Maya stepped closer. "I need someone who loved Sarah. Someone who won't stop until he finds the truth." The room was silent, except for the hum of the ancient heater. "Did she leave anything behind?" Cole asked. "Documents, files, anything the police didn't take." "They cleaned out her apartment, took everything." "Everything?" Maya nodded. Cole looked at Ranger. The dog was wearing the old tactical vest that Sarah had sent Cole 3 years ago. A care package when he was deployed in Afghanistan. Sarah had included a note. "For Ranger. For the heavy loads. Keep it close to your chest." He had never understood what she meant. Until now. Cole knelt beside Ranger, running his fingers along the interior seams of the vest. There, hidden in the lining behind the ballistic plate, his fingers found a small, hard lump. He pulled out a pocket knife and carefully sliced the fabric. A black USB drive dropped into his palm. Maya gasped. She hid it in the dog. Cole stared at the drive. His sister had known she was in danger. She had sent him the evidence months before her death. She had trusted him to finish what she started. "I need a computer," Cole said. "Somewhere that can't be traced." "I know a place." Maya grabbed her keys. "But Cole, if that video really went viral, they already know you're here. Whoever killed Sarah. They're going to come for you." "Good," Cole said, rising to his feet. "Let them come." The library was ancient, a brick building from the 1920s that the city couldn't afford to demolish. The computers were old-running software that belonged in a museum. Perfect. Cole plugged in the USB drive while Maya kept watch at the window. Ranger sat by the door, ears rotating like satellite dishes. The drive was encrypted. Cole stared at the password prompt. "Sarah's birthday," Maya suggested. "Too obvious." "Her cat's name Mr. Whiskers." Cole smiled despite himself. She hated that cat. He thought about Sarah, about their childhood in the foster system, about the night she found him crying in the basement of their 3rd foster home, terrified and alone. She had held him and whispered a single word. Their secret code, their promise that they would survive together. Cole typed, "Unbreakable." The drive unlocked. Folders cascaded across the screen. Hundreds of files, photographs, documents, video recordings. "Oh my God," Maya breathed. The header on the first document read, "Project Shepherd." It detailed a network of youth rehabilitation centers owned by a company called Dominic Enterprises. On the surface, they were legitimate programs for at-risk youth. Underneath, they were processing facilities. Children entered the system. They were assigned case numbers. And then they were sold. International buyers. Private auctions. Prices listed in 6 figures. 47 children. Not missing. Trafficked. Cole felt something cold settle in his chest. A familiar sensation. The same feeling he got before a combat mission. "Dominic Enterprises," he said. "Who runs it?" Maya was pale, her hand over her mouth. "Dominic Crane. He's a billionaire. Philanthropist. He has buildings named after him. He donates to children's hospitals. He sells children." "Cole, this is bigger than I thought. If Dominic Crane is involved, then Dominic Crane is going to prison. Or the ground. His choice." Maya grabbed his arm. "You don't understand. He owns this city. Judges, politicians, police. We can't just—" Ranger's growl cut her off. The dog was staring at the door. His hackles raised, his single eye fixed on something beyond. Cole heard it too. Footsteps. Multiple sets. Moving with tactical precision. "Is there a back exit?" Cole asked quietly. Maya nodded, her face white with fear. Cole pulled the USB drive and pocketed it. Stay behind me. When I move, you move. Don't hesitate. The front door of the library exploded inward. 3 men in black tactical gear poured through, rifles raised. Cole grabbed Maya and threw her toward the back hallway. Go! He flipped the heavy oak reading table onto its side as bullets tore through the air where they had been standing. Ranger bounded ahead, leading Maya toward the exit. Cole followed, zigzagging through the stacks as rounds punched through books around him. Paper and dust filled the air. He reached the back door just as Maya crashed through it into the alley. A 4th man was waiting. Cole hit him low, driving his shoulder into the man's midsection. They went down hard, rolling across wet pavement. The man was trained military, maybe private security, and he fought back with skill. But Cole had been trained by the best, and he had 15 years of combat experience. He caught the man's arm, hyperextended the elbow, and drove his forehead into the man's nose. Cartilage crunched. Blood sprayed. The man went limp. "Cole!" Maya screamed. He looked up. More men were coming pouring out of a black SUV at the end of the alley. Ranger was already running, pulling Maya by the sleeve of her jacket. Cole sprinted after them, his lungs burning, his head pounding with the familiar pressure of an oncoming TBI episode. Not now. Not now. They turned a corner, then another, moving through the maze of Detroit's abandoned industrial district. The sounds of pursuit faded behind them. Finally, Cole pulled Maya into a collapsed doorway, pressing them both into the shadows. They waited, breathing hard. 1 minute, 2. The pursuit passed them by. Cole released Maya and slumped against the wall, pressing his palm against his temple. The headache was building a spike of pain behind his left eye. "Are you okay?" Maya whispered. "Fine." He wasn't. "We need to move. They'll circle back." "How did they find us?" Cole thought about the viral video, about his face clear as day broadcast to millions. "Someone's watching," he said. "Someone with resources. They saw the video and they sent a team." But they didn't know about the library. They couldn't have... Cole's phone buzzed. His burner phone. The one he had bought yesterday with cash. He looked at the screen. One message. Unknown number. "Welcome home, Sergeant Hartley. We've been waiting for you." Below the message was a photograph. Sarah's body, lying on the floor of her apartment, eyes open, face frozen in terror. Cole's hand crushed the phone until the screen cracked. "Cole?" "What is it?" He couldn't speak. The image burned in his mind like acid. They had sent him proof. Proof that they killed her. Proof that they were watching. And proof that they weren't afraid of him. Not yet. "Cole, talk to me." He looked at Maya. At Ranger. At the USB drive in his pocket. Sarah had died trying to save 47 children. He wasn't going to let her die for nothing. "We need somewhere safe," Cole said, his voice steady despite the rage churning in his chest. "Somewhere they can't track us." "I have a place. My grandmother's old house in Mexican Town. It's been empty for years. They'll check your properties." "It's not in my name. It's in my mother's maiden name. No connection to me in any database." Cole nodded slowly. "Okay. We go there. We go through everything on this drive. And then we figure out how to burn Dominic Crane's empire to the ground." They moved through the shadows, 3 broken souls united by loss and rage. The quiet man had woken up, and Detroit was about to learn why they should have let him sleep. The safe house was small, cramped, and smelled like dust and old memories. Cole swept the rooms, while Maya secured the windows. Ranger took up position by the door, his one eye watching the darkness outside. Clear, Cole said. For now. Maya collapsed onto the ancient sofa, her hands still shaking. I can't believe this is happening. I'm a trauma surgeon. I save lives. I don't run from men with guns. You did good back there. Cole sat across from her, pulling the USB drive from his pocket. Most people freeze. You didn't. I wanted to freeze. Every part of me wanted to freeze. But you didn't. That's what matters. Cole found an old laptop in a closet probably left by Maya's grandmother years ago. It was ancient slow, but it worked. He plugged in the drive. This time he dove deeper into the files. Names, dates, bank transfers, shell companies, and videos. Sarah had recorded interviews with former employees of Dominic Enterprises, warehouse workers, security guards, people who had seen things they shouldn't have seen. Cole played one of the recordings. A woman's face filled the screen. She was crying. I thought it was a school, the woman sobbed. They told me it was a school for troubled kids, but the children, they never came back from the graduation ceremony. I asked questions. They told me to mind my own business, or I'd disappear too. Cole paused the video. His hands were shaking again. She documented everything, Maya whispered. She was building a federal case. And someone found out. Cole opened another folder. This one contained photographs. A building. Industrial, surrounded by fences. The sign out front read, Shepherd Youth Rehabilitation Center. This is where they're kept, Cole said. This is the processing facility. Maya leaned closer. That's on the east side, near the old auto plants. I've driven past it 100 times. How many children? Cole found a manifest dated 3 weeks ago. 12 names, ages ranging from 8 to 15. Status pending transfer. 12, he said. 12 children, waiting to be sold. Maya's face hardened. We have to call someone. The FBI, the state police, someone. Sarah tried that. They shut her down. Then we go to the media. Expose everything. With what proof digital files can be faked? Without physical evidence, without witnesses, Crane's lawyers will bury this in court for years. Cole stood pacing. We need to get inside that facility. We need to document everything. Rescue those children. That's insane. You're one man. One man and a very good dog. Ranger's tail thumped against the floor. Maya shook her head. You'll get killed. And then what, the children stay trapped. The truth dies with you. Then come with me. What? Cole turned to face her. You're a surgeon. You understand evidence. You can document injuries, conditions, signs of abuse. Your testimony would carry weight. I'm not a soldier, Cole. Neither was Sarah. But she fought anyway. He knelt in front of her. I'm not asking you to kill anyone. I'm asking you to help me save 12 children. Maya stared at him. Her hands had stopped shaking. When? She asked. Tomorrow night. I need time to scout the facility, plan an entry point. And if we're caught, then we're caught. But at least we'll have tried. Maya was silent for a long moment. Then she reached out and touched the USB drive. Sarah would have wanted this, she said quietly. She spent her whole life trying to protect children. She did. Okay. Maya took a deep breath. Okay. Tomorrow night. Cole nodded. He reached for his jacket and pulled out a photograph he had carried for 3 years. Sarah smiling her arm around a much younger Cole on the day he graduated from Buds. I'm coming, sis, he whispered. I'm going to finish what you started. Outside, the Detroit night was dark and cold. But somewhere inside Cole Hartley, a fire was burning. And nothing, not bullets, not billionaires, not the entire corrupt system, was going to put it out. The next morning, Cole woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of voices. He was on his feet, in an instant, knife in hand, before he registered that the voice was coming from the television. Maya was sitting on the sofa, her face pale, pointing at the screen. The news anchor was speaking. Viral video of the so-called Dog Dad Defender has sparked a massive manhunt. Detroit police have identified the man as Cole Hartley, a former Navy SEAL with a history of violence. Cole's photograph filled the screen. His military ID photo. Anyone with information on Hartley's whereabouts is asked to contact police immediately. He is considered armed and dangerous. They're framing you, Maya breathed. They're making you the criminal. Cole watched as Captain Frank DeLuca appeared on screen, speaking into a cluster of microphones. This individual attacked 3 young men without provocation. He has a documented history of psychological instability and poses a significant threat to public safety. We are working with federal authorities to bring him to justice. The screen cut to the gang members from the park. Marcus, his arm in a sling, was giving an interview. He just went crazy, man. We were just walking by and he attacked us. He's a psycho. He tried to kill us. Cole clicked off the television. It's DeLuca, Maya said. He's controlling the narrative, making you the bad guy. Of course he is. Cole's voice was calm, but his eyes were hard. Crane owns him, and now I'm the perfect distraction. While everyone's looking for me, no one's asking questions about missing children. What do we do? Cole looked at the blank screen, then at Maya, then at Ranger. We accelerate the timeline, he said. Tonight? We hit the facility tonight. But you said you needed to scout. No time. They know I'm here. They know I have the evidence. Every hour we wait is an hour they have to destroy proof move children cover their tracks. Maya stood. Then let's get ready. Cole studied her. This woman who had been a surgeon yesterday and was now preparing for a covert assault on a trafficking facility. You're sure about this? Maya met his eyes. Sarah was my best friend. She died trying to save those children. I'm not going to let her sacrifice mean nothing. Cole nodded slowly. Something shifted in his chest, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time. Hope. Okay, he said. Then let's talk tactics. He pulled out a map of the city and spread it across the table. The facility is here. Old auto plant converted in 2019. Fenced perimeter. Armed security. Based on the files, they rotate shifts at midnight. That's our window. That's our window. Cole traced a finger along the map. There's a drainage tunnel that runs from the river to the plant's basement level. Sarah marked it in her files. That's our entry point. And once we're inside, we document everything, every room, every child, every piece of evidence we can find. Then we get the children out through the same tunnel. 12 children through a drainage tunnel, that's going to take time. Which is why you'll lead them out while I provide cover. Maya's face paled. You're going to fight them alone. Ranger and I have done this before. Different country, different enemy, same mission. He looked at the dog. Protect the innocent. Punish the guilty. Ranger's tail wagged. Maya looked at the map, then at Cole, then at the television where the news was still cycling his photograph. You're not just trying to save those children, she said quietly. You're trying to make them pay. For Sarah. Cole didn't answer. He didn't need to. They both knew the truth. Tonight, one way or another, the silent guardian was going to war, and God help anyone who stood between him and those children. The afternoon sun was dying when Cole finished checking his equipment. 3 magazines, 1 combat knife, a tactical flashlight, and Ranger. It wasn't much, but it would have to be enough. "You're really going in there with just that?" Maya asked, watching him load the pistol he had taken from the gang member in the park. "I've done more with less." "That's not comforting." Cole looked at her. She had changed out of her scrubs into dark clothes, black jeans, a navy sweater, running shoes. She looked like she was going to a late-night coffee run, not a covert assault on a trafficking facility. "You don't have to come," he said. "I can do this alone." "We already had this conversation." "I'm giving you one more chance to walk away." Maya crossed her arms. "And I'm telling you no. Again." Cole almost smiled. Sarah had been the same way, stubborn to a fault. Once she decided something, nothing in the world could change her mind. "Fine," he said, "but you follow my lead. Every step. No heroics." "I'm a surgeon, Cole. I don't do heroics. I do precision." "Good. You're going to need it." Cole's phone buzzed. The new burner he had bought that morning with cash from 3 different stores. Unknown number. He answered, but said nothing. "Hello, brother." Cole's blood turned to ice. He knew that voice. He had heard it through his earpiece on dozens of missions. He had trusted it with his life more times than he could count. "Stone." Maya's head snapped up at the name. She had heard Cole mention it, his former teammate who had gone dark. "Been a long time," Stone said. His voice was calm, almost friendly. "What is it? 3 years since Afghanistan, since you disappeared, since you went mercenary." "Mercenary is such an ugly word. I prefer private contractor. Better benefits. No government oversight." Cole's grip tightened on the phone. "What do you want? I want to help you, Cole. I really do. But you're making it very difficult." "Help me how?" "By giving you a chance to walk away. Right now. Take your dog, take the girl, and disappear. I can make it happen. New identities, new city, new life. Crane will never find you. And the children," Stone sighed. "The children are not your problem. My sister made them my problem." There was a pause. When Stone spoke again, his voice had lost its friendliness. Sarah was a complication. She had to be handled. Cole's vision went red. Handled? She was going to expose a billion-dollar operation. Did you think we would just let that happen? "You killed her." The words came out as a whisper. "You killed my sister." "I did what I was paid to do, just like you did for years. The only difference is my employers pay better." Cole couldn't breathe. The phone shook in his hand. Ranger pressed against his leg, sensing the storm building inside him. "I'm going to find you," Cole said. "And when I do, you'll do nothing. Because you're one broken soldier with a brain injury and a one-eyed dog, and I have an army." Stone's voice hardened. "Walk away, Cole. This is your only warning." The line went dead. Cole stood frozen, the phone pressed against his ear. His mind was replaying every mission he and Stone had run together. Every firefight. Every extraction. Every time Stone had watched his back. And now he knew. Stone had looked Sarah in the eyes. He had pulled the trigger. He had left her body on the floor of her apartment like garbage. "Cole," Maya's voice seemed far away. "Cole, what happened?" He couldn't answer. The rage was too big, too hot. It filled every corner of his being until there was no room for anything else. "Cole," he threw the phone across the room. It shattered against the wall. Ranger barked, startled by the sudden violence. Cole dropped to his knees, his hands pressed against his temples. The TBI was flaring, sending spikes of agony through his skull. But the physical pain was nothing compared to the knowledge now burning in his chest. His teammate. His brother in arms. The man he had trusted with his life. Stone had murdered Sarah. He killed her, Cole gasped. Stone killed her. He told me. He admitted it. Maya knelt beside him, her hand on his shoulder. Who is Stone? We were in the same unit. SEAL Team 4. We ran operations together for 8 years. Cole's voice cracked. He was at my wedding. He was at my divorce. He was the one who told me Sarah had died. The realization hit him like a sledgehammer. Stone had called him with the news. Stone had offered condolences. Stone had told him it was an overdose, that Sarah had been struggling, that there was nothing Cole could have done. All lies. He looked me in the face. Cole whispered. He told me he was sorry for my loss, and he was the one who pulled the trigger. Maya's eyes filled with tears, not for herself, but for him. Cole, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Cole stood up, his jaw set. The grief was still there, but something else was rising above it. Something colder, harder. Be ready. For what? For war. He picked up his tactical vest and strapped it on. His movements were mechanical, precise. The shaking had stopped. The headache had faded. There was only the mission now. Stone knows we're coming, Cole said. He's probably already at the facility. He'll have reinforcements, better weapons, better intel. Then we're walking into a trap. Yes. And you still want to go? Cole looked at her with eyes that held no fear, no hesitation, only purpose. 12 children, Maya. 12 kids who don't have anyone fighting for them. Sarah died trying to save them. Stone killed her to protect the operation. He grabbed his knife and slid it into its sheath. Tonight we finish what Sarah started. And Stone answers for what he did. Maya swallowed hard. She looked at the door, then at the window, then back at Cole. I'm still coming, she said. I know. They left as the last light faded from the sky. The drainage tunnel was exactly where Sarah's files said it would be. A rusted grate covered the entrance, hidden behind a collapsed section of fence near the river. Cole pried it open with his knife, while Maya kept watch. Ranger sat perfectly still, his one eye scanning the darkness. It's clear, Cole said. Stay close. Don't use your flashlight unless I tell you. They entered the tunnel. The darkness was absolute, pressing against them like a physical weight. Water dripped somewhere ahead, a rhythmic echo that masked their footsteps. Cole moved by memory and instinct, one hand trailing along the wall, the other holding his weapon ready. Behind him, Maya's breathing was rapid but controlled. They walked for 15 minutes before Cole raised his fist. Stop. Ahead, a faint glow filtered through another grate. Voices. Movement. Cole crept forward, pressing his eye to the gaps in the metal. A basement storage area, industrial shelving, crates stacked against the walls, and 2 guards, both carrying automatic rifles, standing near a heavy steel door. 2 tangos, Cole whispered. 10 meters. We need to get past them to reach the upper levels. How? Cole studied the guards. Their posture was relaxed, bored. Night shift. Nothing ever happened on night shift. Stay here. Watch my 6. Cole. But he was already moving. He slid through a gap in the grate that should have been too small for a man his size. Years of training had taught him to compress, to flow, to become shadow. The first guard never saw him coming. Cole's arm wrapped around his throat, cutting off blood to the brain. The man went limp in 3 seconds. The second guard turned at the sound of his partner's body hitting the floor. He opened his mouth to shout. Cole's knife was faster. He caught the guard as he fell, lowering him silently to the concrete. Clear, Cole whispered. Maya emerged from the tunnel, her face pale but determined. She looked at the bodies, but didn't flinch. Are they dead? Unconscious. Cole pulled zip ties from his vest and secured their wrists. They'll wake up with headaches. Nothing more. Why not kill them? Because I'm not stone. Cole moved to the steel door. Because I still have a line. The door was locked. Electronic keypad. Cole examined it for a moment, then pulled a device from his pocket. A signal scrambler modified from components Sarah had detailed in her files. He pressed it against the keypad. 2 seconds later, the lock clicked open. They moved through the door into a corridor lit by humming fluorescent lights. The air smelled like industrial cleaner and something else. Something sour. Fear. Maya gagged. What is that? Too many people in too small a space for too long. Cole's jaw tightened. We're close. They passed doors marked Storage Maintenance Electrical. All locked. All silent. Then Cole heard it. Crying. A child's voice muffled by walls but unmistakable. Maya heard it too. Her hand found Cole's arm, her grip tight. In there, she whispered, pointing to a door at the end of the corridor. Dormitory B. Cole approached the door. No keypad this time. Just a deadbolt. He slid it open. The room beyond was large, divided into sections by chain link fencing. Each section contained a cot, a bucket, and a child. Cole counted. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 children ranging from maybe 7 to 15 years old. Dirty, thin, terrified. They looked at Cole with eyes that held no hope. Eyes that had learned to expect nothing but pain. It's okay, Maya whispered, moving forward. We're here to help. We're going to get you out. A girl, maybe 10, pressed herself against the far corner of her cage. That's what they always say. Cole felt something break inside him. I'm not them, he said, his voice rough. I'm the guy who's going to make sure they never hurt you again. He moved to the first cage. The lock was simple, just a padlock. His knife made short work of it. The boy inside, small, dark-haired, maybe 8 years old, stared up at him. Are you a soldier? The boy asked. I was. Like the other one. Cole froze. What other one? The bald man. He has a scar on his head. He comes sometimes. He talks to the boss. Stone. Did he hurt you? The boy shook his head. He just watches. He scares me more than the ones who hurt. Cole's fists clenched until his knuckles went white. He's not going to scare you anymore, Cole said. I promise. He moved through the cages one by one, freeing the children. Maya gathered them together, checking for injuries, offering quiet words of comfort. We need to move, Cole said. Back through the tunnel. Maya, you lead them out. I'll cover the rear. What about documentation? We need evidence. We have 12 witnesses. That's all the evidence we need. Maya nodded. She gathered the children around her, speaking in a calm, steady voice. Everyone hold hands. We're going to walk through a tunnel. It's dark, but it's safe. I need you to be very quiet and very brave. Can you do that? 12 heads nodded. Cole led them back to the corridor and stopped dead. Stone was standing at the other end. He looked exactly as Cole remembered. Shaved head, scar running from his left ear to the corner of his eye. Built like a tank with the dead eyes of a man who had killed so many times, it no longer registered. Hello, brother, Stone said. He wasn't alone. 6 men flanked him, all armed, all wearing the same tactical gear as the mercenaries from the library. Cole pushed Maya and the children behind him. "Get them out," he said quietly. "The tunnel. Now." "Cole, I can't leave you. Now!" Maya grabbed the nearest child and ran. The others followed a chain of small figures disappearing into the darkness of the basement corridor. Stone didn't try to stop them. He just watched a small smile playing on his lips. "You think this changes anything?" Stone asked. "Those kids will be rounded up before they reach the street. I have men at every exit. Then why let them go?" "Because I wanted this." Stone stepped forward, cracking his neck. "Just you and me, like old times." Cole drew his knife. "This isn't going to be like old times." "No, it's not. Because this time one of us isn't walking away." The mercenaries raised their weapons. Cole braced himself, and then the lights went out. For a fraction of a second, chaos erupted. The mercenaries shouted their flashlights, swinging wildly in the sudden darkness. Cole didn't need light. He had trained for this. Thousands of hours in darkness learning to fight blind. He moved. The first mercenary went down before he could turn on his flashlight. A strike to the throat, a sweep of the legs, a blade across the hamstring. Gunfire erupted wild and unfocused. Bullets sparked off metal and concrete, hitting nothing. Cole dropped the second man with an elbow to the temple. The third caught a knife to the shoulder. "Hold your fire!" Stone bellowed. "You're hitting each other!" But Cole was already through them, sprinting toward the tunnel entrance where Maya had disappeared with the children. He heard Stone pursuing boots pounding on concrete. "You can't run forever." "Cole?" Cole reached the grate. Maya and the children were gone, vanished into the darkness of the drainage tunnel. Good. He turned to face Stone. The emergency lights flickered on, casting everything in red. Stone stood 10 feet away, a combat knife in each hand. His mercenaries were scattered behind him, groaning on the floor. "You took my family," Cole said. "She was a target. Nothing personal." "It's personal to me." They circled each other, predators measuring prey. "You know how this ends," Stone said. "I trained you, remember? I know every move you're going to make before you make it. Then come find out if I've learned anything new." Stone lunged. The first strike was fast, a diagonal slash aimed at Cole's throat. Cole slipped it, countered with a thrust that Stone deflected. They traded blows in a blur of steel and violence, each knowing the other's patterns, each adapting in real time. Stone was stronger. Fresh. Uninjured. Cole was running on rage and grief and the memory of his sister's face. A boot caught Cole in the ribs. He staggered. Stone pressed the advantage, driving him backward. "You're slow," Stone taunted. "That brain injury eating you up, brother." Cole ducked under a slash that would have opened his throat. "Still standing." Not for long. Stone's fist connected with Cole's jaw. The world spun. Cole tasted blood. He went down on one knee. Stone stood over him, knife raised for the killing blow. "Sarah begged at the end," Stone said. "Did you know that she begged me to spare her? Said she had a brother who would come looking. Said he would make me pay." Cole looked up at his former brother. She was right. He drove his knife upward into the gap between Stone's tactical vest and his belt. Stone gasped, stumbling backward. Blood poured from his side, but he didn't fall. "Lucky shot," Stone grunted, pressing a hand against the wound. "Won't happen twice." Sirens. In the distance, but getting closer. Stone heard them too. His eyes flickered toward the sound. "This isn't over," Stone said. "Crane has resources you can't imagine. Money, power, politicians in his pocket. You rescued 12 kids. There are hundreds more, thousands, and you can't save them all." He backed toward a door marked Emergency Exit. "I'll find you," Cole said. I'm counting on it. The stone disappeared into the darkness. Cole wanted to follow. Every fiber of his being screamed to chase the man who had killed his sister. But Maya was out there with 12 traumatized children. And the sirens were getting closer. Stone could wait. The children couldn't. Cole turned and ran toward the tunnel. He found them a quarter-mile from the facility, huddled in an abandoned gas station. Maya had gotten them out. All 12. The children clung to each other, shivering, crying quietly. Maya saw Cole and her face flooded with relief. "You're alive." "Stone got away. I heard the fighting. I thought, he's hurt, badly, but he's not dead." Maya grabbed his arm. "The police are everywhere. Someone called 911. They're treating it as a gas leak, evacuating the area. Crane's people, covering their tracks." "What do we do?" Cole looked at the 12 children. Scared, hungry, free. For now. "We get them somewhere safe. Somewhere even Crane can't reach." "What, where?" Cole thought about it. There was only one place, one person he trusted absolutely. "I know someone," he said, "but you're not going to like it." Maya stared at him. "Who?" Cole took a deep breath. "My mother." Maya stared at him like he had grown a second head. "Your mother? You told me you grew up in foster care. You told me Sarah was your only family." "She was. Our mother left when I was 6. Sarah was 4. Cole's voice was flat, controlled. "She walked out one morning and never came back. We ended up in the system 3 days later. And now you want to take these children to her. She's FBI, Special Agent Patricia Novak. She runs the Human Trafficking Division out of the Chicago field office." Maya's mouth opened, closed, opened again. "Your mother is a federal agent. Has been for 22 years. And she just abandoned you." Cole looked at the children huddled together, shivering in the cold. "She had her reasons. That's what she told me when she showed up at Sarah's funeral." His jaw tightened. "I haven't spoken to her since." "Cole, this is insane. You can't trust someone who abandoned you." "I don't trust her, but I trust her badge. And right now these kids need federal protection, not local cops who might be on Crane's payroll." Maya ran her hands through her hair, pacing in tight circles. "How do you even contact her?" Cole pulled a card from his wallet. Worn creased, carried for 2 weeks without being used. "She gave me this at the funeral, said if I ever needed anything." "And you're just going to call her after everything, for them?" Cole nodded at the children. "Yeah, I am." He dialed the number. It rang twice. "Patricia Novak." Cole's throat tightened at the sound of her voice. 28 years of silence, and she still sounded exactly like he remembered. "It's Cole." The pause stretched for an eternity. "Cole." Her voice cracked slightly. "I didn't think you'd ever. I need your help, not for me. For 12 children who just escaped a trafficking operation run by Dominic Crane." Another pause. When she spoke again, her voice was all business. "Where are you?" "Abandoned gas station on Miller Road, East Side." "Don't move. I'm sending a team." "No teams, just you. Anyone else shows up, I disappear with these kids and you never hear from me again." "Cole, that's not how." "Those are my terms." Silence. 30 minutes, Patricia said. "I'll be there." The line went dead. Maya watched him pocket the phone. "You really think she'll come alone?" "No, but she'll pretend to, and that's enough to get these kids into protective custody." "And then what?" Cole looked toward the distant glow of the city. "Then I go back. I find Stone, I find Crane, and I end this." Patricia Novak arrived in 23 minutes. She stepped out of a black sedan alone, her hands visible. She was older than Cole remembered, her hair gray now, her face lined with years of hard work and harder choices. But her eyes were the same, sharp, assessing, missing nothing. Cole. Patricia. She flinched at the use of her first name. He saw it. He didn't care. The children, she asked. Inside, 12 of them, ages 7 to 15. They were being held at a facility on the east side, Shepherd Youth Rehabilitation Center. Patricia's expression darkened. We've had that facility on our radar for months. Never enough evidence for a warrant. You have evidence now. 12 witnesses. Plus this. Cole held up the USB drive. Sarah's files. Everything she documented before she was murdered. Patricia's eyes locked on the drive. Sarah was investigating Crane for 3 years. She was going to bring it to you. To the FBI. Cole's voice hardened. She had a meeting scheduled, the morning after she died. I never got that meeting request, because someone intercepted it, someone inside your organization. Patricia's face went pale. You're saying we have a leak. I'm saying your daughter was killed because someone in the FBI tipped off Crane's people. Cole stepped closer, his voice dropping to a growl. I'm saying that while you were playing federal agent, your daughter was being hunted. And you didn't even know. Cole, don't. He held up his hand. I don't want your excuses. I don't want your explanations. I want you to take these children somewhere safe. And I want you to stay out of my way. Patricia looked at him for a long moment. Whatever she saw in his face made her step back. There's a safe house in Ann Arbor. Off the books. No one knows about it except me and 2 agents I trust with my life. How do I know you can trust them? Because one of them is dying of cancer, and the other is retiring next month. Neither has anything to gain from Crane's money. Cole studied her, looking for the lie, finding nothing but exhaustion and something that might have been shame. Fine. Take them. Maya stepped forward. I'm going with them. Cole turned to her. What? Someone needs to document their injuries. Someone needs to make sure they're actually safe. Maya met his eyes. And you need to do what you're going to do without worrying about me. Maya, I'm not asking permission. She touched his arm, her fingers warm against his skin. Find Stone. Make him pay for what he did to Sarah. And then come back. Cole wanted to argue. He wanted to tell her it was too dangerous that Crane's people could find the safe house that he needed her with him. But he looked at the 12 children being loaded into Patricia's sedan, and he knew she was right. Take care of them, he said. I will. She stood on her toes and kissed his cheek. A brief touch there and gone. Come back alive, she whispered. Then she was gone, climbing into the sedan with the children disappearing into the night. Cole stood alone in the empty parking lot. Just him and Ranger. Okay, boy, he said. Time to hunt. The facility was crawling with police when Cole returned. He watched from a rooftop 2 blocks away, counting vehicles. 6 squad cars, 2 ambulances, a fire truck, but no federal presence, no FBI, no serious investigation. Just local cops securing a crime scene that would be scrubbed clean by morning. Cole pulled out his phone and dialed a number he had memorized from Sarah's files. It rang once. Detroit News Crime Desk. I have evidence of a human trafficking ring operating in the city. 12 children rescued tonight from a facility owned by Dominic Crane. The police are covering it up. Silence. Who is this? Someone who wants the truth published. Check your email in 5 minutes. Cole hung up and forwarded a selection of Sarah's files to the address listed on the newspaper's website. It wasn't enough to bring down Crane, but it was enough to make noise, enough to make the cover-up harder. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. That was very dramatic. Stone's voice was calm, almost amused. Calling the press. Very Sarah of you. Where are you? Close, very close. Cole scanned the rooftops around him. Nothing. If you're going to kill me, stop talking and do it. Stone laughed. Kill you, Cole. I don't want to kill you. I want to recruit you. What? Crane is impressed. You infiltrated his facility, freed his merchandise, and escaped without dying. That takes talent. I'm not interested. Hear me out. Crane is offering $5 million, tax-free, offshore accounts. All you have to do is walk away. Take the girl, take the dog, disappear. We pretend tonight never happened. Cole's grip tightened on the phone. You murdered my sister. And I'll apologize for that. Sincerely. Sarah was a good person. She didn't deserve what happened to her. Stone's voice softened. But she was going to destroy everything. Billions of dollars. Hundreds of powerful people. She had to be stopped. So you shot her? I made it quick, painless. 1 round center mass. She didn't suffer. The world went red at the edges. Where are you? Building across from you. 4th floor. But before you come charging over here like the soldier you used to be, you should know something. Cole waited. I know where the surgeon is. The safe house in Ann Arbor. Cute place. 2 agents, 12 kids, and 1 very pretty doctor. Cole's blood turned to ice. You're lying. Am I Agent Patricia Novak? Agent Samuel Chen? Agent Dorothy Webb? Those are the only 3 people who know about that safe house. Well, them and me. How? Your mother has a leak, Cole. Someone she trusts. Someone who's been feeding Crane information for years. Stone paused. How do you think we knew about Sarah's meeting? How do you think we stayed ahead of every investigation? Cole's mind raced. Patricia had said she trusted 2 agents with her life. 1 was dying. 1 was retiring. Which one was the traitor? I have a team positioned outside Ann Arbor right now, Stone continued. 20 men, heavily armed. 1 phone call and they breach that safe house. The agents die first, then the children, then your doctor. What do you want? A meeting, face to face, no weapons. You hear Crane's offer directly, and you make your choice. And if I say no, then everyone you've been trying to save dies tonight, and it will be your fault. Cole closed his eyes. He thought about Maya, about the 12 children he had fought to free, about Patricia, who had abandoned him but was still somehow his mother. Where? Crane's penthouse, downtown, 1 hour. Stone paused. Come alone. Bring the dog if you want, but if I see anyone else, if I even suspect you've contacted the authorities, my team moves in. I'll be there. I knew you would. You're predictable, Cole. It's your greatest weakness. The line went dead. Cole lowered the phone. Ranger looked up at him, waiting for instructions. Change of plans, boy, Cole said. We're walking into a trap. The elevator ride to Crane's penthouse took 47 seconds. Cole counted every one. The doors opened onto a space that screamed wealth. But Cole didn't see the art on the walls or the view of the city below. He saw the 6 armed guards positioned around the room. He saw Stone standing by the bar, a glass of whiskey in his hand. And he saw Dominic Crane. The billionaire was smaller than Cole expected, thin, silver-haired, wearing a suit that probably cost more than Cole's truck. He sat in a leather chair like it was a throne, watching Cole with eyes that held no warmth, no humanity. Mr. Hartley, Crane's voice was cultured, controlled. Thank you for accepting my invitation. Didn't have much choice. No, you didn't. Crane gestured to a chair across from him. Please, sit. I'll stand. Stone stepped forward, but Crane raised a hand. Let him stand if he prefers. We're all friends here. Cole's eyes swept the room again. 6 guards. Stone. Crane. 8 targets. 3 exits. No cover. Suicide odds. You've caused me considerable trouble, Crane said. 12 children. Months of careful planning. All ruined in a single night. Just getting started. I admire your confidence, misplaced as it is. Crane leaned forward. Do you know what I'm worth, Mr. Hartley? $4.7 billion. I own judges. I own senators. I own police chiefs and FBI agents and people you've never heard of who make decisions that shape the world. You traffic children. I provide a service, supply and demand, the oldest law of economics. Crane shrugged. The children I move would end up dead or worse without my intervention. I simply redirect them to clients who value them. Cole's hands curled into fists. You're a monster. I'm a businessman. There's a difference. Crane stood walking to the window. But enough philosophy. Stone tells me you're a practical man. So let me make you a practical offer. He turned to face Cole. $10 million. New identity. New life. You walk away tonight and never look back. In exchange, you give me the USB drive and you forget everything you've seen. And the children. They're already safe. Your mother moved them to a different location an hour ago. Very clever. But ultimately pointless. Cole felt a surge of relief. If Crane was telling the truth, Maya and the children were safe. For now. What about Stone? Crane smiled. What about him? He killed my sister. That's not something I can forget. I understand. Family loyalty is admirable. Crane walked back to his chair. What if I gave him to you? Stone's head snapped toward Crane. Sir, as a gesture of good faith. Crane settled into his seat. Stone has become a liability. His methods are crude. His connection to your sister's death creates unnecessary risk. Stone's face went pale. You can't be serious. I'm always serious about business. Crane's eyes never left Cole. You want revenge? Take it. Kill him right now. Then take my money and disappear. Cole looked at Stone, the man who had been his brother, the man who had murdered Sarah, standing there suddenly afraid, his hand moving toward his weapon. Don't, Cole said quietly. Stone's hand stopped. I'm not going to kill you like this, not as part of some deal. Cole stepped closer to Stone. When I kill you, it will be because you earned it. Face to face. No tricks, no bargains. Stone's fear transformed into something like respect. You're an idiot, Cole. You know that. Probably. Crane sighed. How disappointing. I had hoped we could resolve this civilly. He pressed a button on his chair. The guards raised their weapons. Mr. Hartley, I'm afraid you've made the wrong choice. Stone, secure him, and activate the Ann Arbor team. No! Cole lunged forward. Stone was faster. He drove his elbow into Cole's solar plexus, doubling him over. A knee to the face sent Cole sprawling. Ranger barked, launching himself at Stone. Get the dog, Stone shouted. 2 guards tackled Ranger, pinning him to the ground. One of them pulled out a shock collar, the same kind they had used in the facility. Cole tried to rise, but Stone's boot pressed down on his chest. Should have taken the money, brother. The children are already gone, Cole gasped. You can't. We'll find them. We always do. Stone pressed harder, grinding his heel. And when we do, I'll make sure your doctor friend watches while I kill every single one of them. Cole's vision was going dark. The pressure on his chest was crushing. He couldn't breathe. "Stone." Crane's voice cut through the chaos. "Enough. I want him alive. He knows where the children are." The pressure eased. Cole sucked in air, his lungs burning. Stone grabbed him by the collar, hauling him to his knees. "Where are they, Cole? Where did your mother take them?" Cole spit blood onto Stone's boots. "Go to hell." Stone's fist crashed into his jaw. Once, twice, 3 times. The world blurred. Cole heard Ranger barking, heard the crackle of electricity, heard his dog yelp in pain. "Stop!" Cole screamed. "Stop hurting him!" Stone grabbed Cole's face, forcing him to watch as the guards fitted the shock collar around Ranger's neck. "Tell me where the children are or I cook your dog's brain." Ranger was whimpering, his one eye fixed on Cole. Trusting. Waiting. "You have 3 seconds, Stone said. 1. Cole's mind raced. He couldn't tell them. The children would die. Maya would die. 2. But Ranger. His dog. His partner. The only friend who had never abandoned him. Wait! Everyone froze. The elevator doors had opened. Patricia Novak stood there, her weapon drawn, flanked by 4 FBI agents. "Federal agents, everyone on the ground, now!" Stone spun, reaching for his gun. Patricia fired. The bullet caught Stone in the shoulder, spinning him away from Cole. Chaos erupted. Cole threw himself at the guard with the shock collar remote, tackling him to the ground. They rolled, fighting for control until Cole's fingers found the man's throat. One squeeze. The guard went limp. Cole grabbed the remote and crushed it under his boot. Around him, the FBI agents were engaging Crane's guards. Gunfire echoed off the walls. Stone was crawling toward the emergency exit, blood trailing behind him. Cole started to follow. "Cole down." He dropped. A bullet whistled past his head, close enough to feel the heat. Patricia had saved his life. He looked at her. She looked at him. Something passed between them. Not forgiveness. Not yet. But something. "Go!" she shouted. "Get Stone! We have Crane!" Cole ran. He burst through the emergency exit onto a stairwell. Blood on the steps. Stone's blood. Leading up. Toward the roof. Cole climbed, taking the stairs 3 at a time, his battered body screaming in protest. He emerged onto the helipad just as a helicopter's rotors began to spin. Stone was climbing into the cockpit, his shoulder soaked with blood. "It's over, Stone!" Cole shouted over the wind. Stone looked at him and smiled. "It's never over, Cole. Crane has partners, clients, people who will keep this operation running no matter what happens tonight. Then I'll stop them too." "You can't stop the world, brother." Stone pulled himself into the pilot's seat. "But you're welcome to try." The helicopter lifted off. Cole ran. Every muscle burning, every bone aching. He reached the edge of the helipad and leaped. His hands caught the landing skid. The helicopter lurched Stone, fighting to compensate for the sudden weight. "You crazy son of a—" Cole climbed, hand over hand, the wind tearing at him, threatening to rip him away. He reached the cockpit door and yanked it open. Stone turned a knife in his hand. The blade caught Cole across the forearm. Blood sprayed. Cole ignored the pain and grabbed Stone's wrist. They struggled, the helicopter spinning wildly. Below, the city lights blurred into streaks of color. "You should have walked away," Stone screamed. "You should have taken the money. And you should have never touched my sister." Cole drove his forehead into Stone's nose. Bone crunched. Stone howled. The helicopter tilted. The controls jerked. They were going down. Cole grabbed the cyclic fighting to level the aircraft, but Stone was still fighting, his bloody hands clawing at Cole's face. The water. Lake Michigan. rushing up to meet them. Cole made a choice. He released the controls. He grabbed Stone, and he threw both of them out of the helicopter. They hit the water like a hammer hitting steel. Cold. Darkness. Silence. Cole sank the impact, driving the air from his lungs. He couldn't tell which way was up. He couldn't feel his limbs. Something grabbed his ankle. Stone. Dragging him deeper. Cole kicked. Twisted. His boot connected with something solid. The grip released. Cole swam. Up. Toward the light. He broke the surface, gasping, choking alive. Stone surfaced 10 feet away, coughing water and blood. Not done, Stone wheezed. Yeah. Cole treaded water, his body failing. We are. Sirens, getting closer. Boats cutting through the darkness, searchlights sweeping the water. Stone saw them too. His face twisted with rage. This doesn't end, Cole. Even if you take me down, there are others. Hundreds of people who profit from what we built. Then I'll take them down too. You're one man. I'm enough. The boats reached them. Coast Guard, FBI, hands reaching down, pulling them from the water. Cole watched as Stone was dragged onto a boat, handcuffs snapping around his wrists. Their eyes met one last time. She asked about you, Stone said quietly. At the end, Sarah. She asked if you would come for her. Cole felt tears mixing with the lake water on his face. What did you tell her? Stone was silent for a moment. I told her yes. I told her you would come. He looked away. I wasn't wrong. They put Stone in one boat, Cole in another. The lights of the city grew brighter as they headed for shore. Cole leaned back against the hull, exhausted, bleeding, broken, but alive. And for the first time in 2 weeks, he felt something other than grief. He felt hope. The hospital room smelled like antiseptic and failure. Cole sat on the edge of the bed, ignoring the doctor who was trying to stitch the knife wound on his forearm. His eyes were fixed on the television mounted in the corner. Dominic Crane's face filled the screen. These allegations are completely baseless, Crane said, standing behind a podium surrounded by lawyers. I am the victim of a coordinated attack by disgruntled former employees and a mentally unstable veteran with a personal vendetta. Cole's hands curled into fists. Mr. Hartley, please hold still. Turn it up. The doctor fumbled with the remote. The so-called evidence being circulated in the media was fabricated, Crane continued. My legal team has already filed defamation suits against the Detroit News and several other outlets. I have complete confidence that the truth will prevail. A reporter shouted from off-screen. Mr. Crane, what about the 12 children rescued from your facility? What children? Crane's expression was perfectly calm. The Shepherd Youth Rehabilitation Center was a legitimate educational program. Any suggestion otherwise is a malicious lie. Cole grabbed the IV stand beside his bed and ripped the needle from his arm. Mr. Hartley, the doctor jumped back. You can't. Where's my dog? Sir, you have a concussion, hypothermia, multiple lacerations. Where is my dog? The door opened. Patricia Novak stepped inside Ranger, limping beside her. The moment Ranger saw Cole, he broke free and bounded across the room, nearly knocking Cole off the bed. Cole buried his face in the dog's fur, feeling Ranger's heart beating against his chest. Easy, boy. Easy. I'm okay. Patricia dismissed the doctor with a look. When they were alone, she closed the door. Crane made bail an hour ago. Cole's head snapped up. What? $50 million. Cash. The judge barely blinked. Patricia's voice was bitter. He'll be on a plane to a non-extradition country by morning. Then stop him. With what? We have Stone in custody, but he's not talking. Crane's lawyers are calling the raid on his penthouse an illegal search. The evidence we gathered might be inadmissible. Cole stood, swaying slightly. Ranger pressed against his leg, steadying him. The USB drive. Sarah's files. Chain of custody issues. Crane's team is arguing it was stolen property, that Sarah obtained it through illegal means. Patricia's face twisted with frustration. They're going to bury this, Cole. Just like they buried everything else. No. Cole, I didn't watch my sister die for this. I didn't fight my way through Crane's army just to watch him fly away to some beach. Cole grabbed his jacket from the chair. Where is he now? His estate in Grosse Pointe, but it's a fortress, private security, electronic surveillance. You can't just walk in there. Watch me. Patricia stepped in front of the door. Move. Listen to me. Her voice cracked. I know I failed you. I know I failed Sarah. I've spent 28 years trying to make up for walking out that door, and I've failed at that, too. Cole stared at her. The woman who had abandoned him. The mother he had spent his entire childhood hating. But I'm not going to let you get yourself killed, Patricia continued. Not when we're this close. Close to what you just said Crane is going to escape. I said his lawyers are trying to make that happen. I didn't say they were going to succeed. Patricia pulled out her phone. Stone isn't talking, but one of his men is. She showed Cole the screen. A video. A mercenary Cole recognized from the penthouse sitting in an interrogation room. His name is Keller, former Delta Force. He was Stone's second in command. Patricia hit play. Keller's voice filled the room. I want full immunity, witness protection, new identity. An off-screen voice responded. That depends on what you can give us. Everything. Names, dates, bank accounts. I know where all the bodies are buried. Keller leaned forward. Literally. Start talking. Crane has a vault in his estate. Physical records of every transaction he's ever made. Names of every client, every politician he's bought, every judge, every cop. Keller's eyes were desperate. That vault is his insurance policy. Without it, he's just another billionaire. With it, he owns half the government. The video ended. Cole looked at Patricia. If we can get into that vault before Crane destroys the contents. We have enough to put him away forever, Patricia finished. And everyone connected to him. Then we move now. The FBI can't legally enter his property without a warrant, and no judge in Michigan will sign one tonight. I'm not FBI. Patricia studied him. The son she had abandoned. The soldier who had become something she never expected. If you do this, you're on your own. I can't protect you. You never could. The words hung in the air between them. 28 years of silence. 28 years of pain. Patricia nodded slowly. There's a service entrance on the north side. Minimal security. Crane never thought anyone would be stupid enough to try. Then he doesn't know me very well. Cole moved toward the door. Cole! He stopped, but didn't turn around. I never stopped loving you, either of you. Patricia's voice broke. I left because I was broken, because I thought you'd be better off without me, and every day since I've regretted it. Cole stood motionless for a long moment. You were wrong, he said quietly. We needed you. Sarah needed you. I know. He turned, then looking at his mother for the first time without anger, without hate, just sadness. When this is over, Cole said, we're going to talk. Really talk about everything. Patricia's eyes filled with tears. I'd like that. Cole walked out, Ranger at his heels. The night was waiting. Maya was waiting outside the hospital. She ran to him the moment he emerged, throwing her arms around him so hard he grunted in pain. "You're alive. God, Cole, I thought, I'm okay." "You're not okay. You look like you went through a meat grinder." She pulled back, examining his face. "The children are safe. All 12 of them. Your mother's agents moved them to a new location after Stone's team was arrested." "I know. What are you doing out here? You should be in bed. You should be resting." Crane made bail. Maya's face went pale. "What? He's going to run tonight unless I stop him." "Cole, no. You've done enough. Let the FBI handle it." "The FBI can't touch him. Not legally. Not in time." Cole took her hands. "Maya, that vault has everything. Names of everyone involved. Proof of every crime. If I can get inside, you'll get yourself killed." "Maybe. Cole, Sarah died for this. Those 12 children almost died for this. I'm not going to let Crane fly away to some island and live out his days in luxury while families never find out what happened to their kids." Maya stared at him. Her eyes were wet, but her jaw was set. "Then I'm coming with you." "Absolutely not. You need someone to watch your back. You're a surgeon, not a soldier." "I shot a man tonight. I saved your life." Maya stepped closer. "I'm not the same person I was 3 days ago. None of us are." Cole looked at her. This woman who had started as a stranger on a park bench, who had risked everything to help him, who had walked into a trafficking facility armed with nothing but a pistol and her courage. "You stay in the car," he said finally. "No matter what happens. If I'm not back in 30 minutes, you drive away and don't look back." "Cole, promise me." Maya held his gaze for a long moment. 30 minutes. Then I'm coming in after you." That's my offer. Take it or leave it." Cole almost smiled. Almost. "Fine, 30 minutes." They drove through the night in silence. Crane's estate was exactly what Cole expected. A monument to obscene wealth surrounded by walls and cameras and guards who thought they were protecting a legitimate businessman. They didn't know what was coming. Cole parked the stolen car 3 blocks away and checked his equipment. 1 pistol, 1 knife, no backup, no extraction plan, just rage and determination. "The service entrance is on the north side," Cole said. 2 guards, maybe 3. I'll go over the wall, disable the cameras, and make my way to the main house. And the vault? According to Keller, it's in the basement, behind Crane's wine cellar. Biometric lock, but Keller gave us the override code. What if it doesn't work? Then I improvise. Maya grabbed his arm before he could open the door. "Come back to me," she said. "I mean it. Whatever happens in there, you come back." Cole covered her hand with his. "I will." He slipped out of the car and disappeared into the darkness. The wall was 10 feet high with sensors at the top. Cole found a blind spot where a tree cast shadows over the concrete. He climbed using cracks in the masonry as handholds and dropped silently onto the manicured lawn. 2 guards patrolling the perimeter, automatic rifles, earpieces. Professional. Cole waited until they turned the corner, then moved. He crossed the open ground in a low crouch, staying in the shadows until he reached the service entrance. 1 guard, standing by the door, smoking a cigarette. Cole came up behind him like a ghost, 1 hand over the mouth, 1 arm around the throat. "Sleep," Cole whispered. The guard went limp. Cole lowered him gently to the ground and took his keycard. The door opened into a kitchen. Industrial. Stainless steel. The smell of expensive food and cheap help. Cole moved through the halls following the mental map Keller had provided. past the dining room, past the library, down a spiral staircase that led to the wine cellar. The cellar was exactly as described. Rows of bottles worth more than most houses, climate-controlled, temperature-perfect, and at the far end, hidden behind a rack of century-old Bordeaux, a steel door. The keypad glowed red. Cole entered the override code, 7429 Sarah. The irony wasn't lost on him. Crane had used his sister's name as his security code. A final insult. A reminder that she had failed. The light turned green. The door hissed open. Cole stepped inside. The vault was smaller than he expected, but the contents made his blood run cold. Filing cabinets lined the walls. Thousands of documents, photographs, videotapes, and in the center of the room a computer terminal displaying a single message: deletion in progress. 47% complete. Cole lunged for the terminal, trying to stop the process. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." He spun. Dominic Crane stood in the doorway, a small silver pistol in his hand. "Mr. Hartley, I had a feeling you'd come." Crane stepped into the vault, closing the door behind him. "You're remarkably predictable for a Navy SEAL." "It's over, Crane. The FBI has your man. Keller's talking." "Keller knows nothing. Surface details. Names that will be dead by morning." Crane smiled. "You think I'd trust someone like him with real information? Then why are you destroying your files?" "Insurance. If I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me." Crane gestured with the pistol. "Step away from the terminal." Cole didn't move. "I could shoot you right now," Crane said. "Self-defense. An intruder in my home. Very tragic." "Then do it." Crane's smile flickered. "I will. But first I want you to understand something." He walked closer, keeping the pistol trained on Cole's chest. "Your sister was brilliant. Genuinely brilliant. She had more evidence than anyone before her. She could have brought down my entire operation." "She would have." "Yes, she would have. That's why I had to stop her." While Crane's eyes were empty. "Do you know what she said to me the night she died?" Cole's breath caught. "You met her. I wanted to offer her a deal. Same as I offered you. Money, safety, silence." Crane shook his head. "She refused. She looked me in the eye and said, 'My brother will find you. My brother will make you pay.'" Cole felt tears burning behind his eyes. "She was wrong," Crane continued. "You found me, yes. But you're not going to make anyone pay. You're going to die in this vault, and I'm going to fly to Venezuela, and in 6 months I'll be running an even bigger operation. Because that's how the world works. Money wins. Power wins. Little people like you and your sister, you lose." "You're forgetting something." "What's that?" Cole smiled. A cold, hard smile that made Crane take a step back. "I'm not alone." The lights went out. Crane fired blindly, the muzzle flash illuminating the vault for a split second. Cole was already moving. He tackled Crane around the waist, driving him into the filing cabinets. The pistol clattered away. Crane screamed, clawing at Cole's face, but Cole was stronger, faster, fueled by grief and rage and the memory of his sister's voice. He pinned Crane to the floor, his hands around the billionaire's throat. "Sarah was right," Cole growled. "I found you, and you're going to pay." "Please," Crane gasped. "I'll give you anything, money, I'll confess. Just don't what? Don't kill you." Cole squeezed harder. "Like you killed those children. Like you killed my sister. I didn't. Stone, it was Stone. You gave the order." Crane's face was turning purple. His hands scrabbled uselessly at Cole's wrists. Cole could feel the life draining out of him, feel the darkness calling, the temptation to squeeze until there was nothing left. But Sarah's voice echoed in his mind, not demanding revenge, not crying for justice, just asking him to be better, to be the man she believed he was. Cole released his grip. Crane gasped, coughing, sucking in air. "You're not worth it," Cole said. "You're going to rot in a prison cell for the rest of your miserable life, and every day you're going to remember that I had you. I could have ended you, but I chose to let you live." He stood up, leaving Crane whimpering on the floor. The lights flickered back on. Maya stood in the doorway, her hand on the circuit breaker she had found. 31 minutes, she said. "I got worried." Cole almost laughed. "The files. Deletion stopped at 62%. We have enough." Sirens in the distance. Getting closer. Maya had called the FBI. "It's over," she said quietly. Cole looked down at Dominic Crane, the man who had destroyed so many lives, who had thought himself untouchable, now just a broken old man crying on the floor of his own vault. "Yeah," Cole said. "It's over." The FBI arrived in force. Patricia led the team, her badge gleaming her face hard. Behind her came agents with boxes ready to catalog every piece of evidence in the vault. Crane was handcuffed and led away, still protesting his innocence, still threatening lawsuits. But his voice had lost its power. He was just another criminal now. "Cole?" He turned. Patricia was standing beside him, watching Crane disappear into the back of a federal SUV. "Stone's talking." "What?" He saw the news, saw that Crane was trying to burn everything and everyone. He realized Crane was going to leave him holding the bag. Patricia's voice was grim. "He's giving us everything. Names, locations, the entire network. Why? Because he wants a deal. Life in prison instead of death row." Patricia paused. "He also wanted me to give you a message." Cole waited. He said, "Tell Cole I was wrong. About Sarah, about everything. She was the brave one. I was just a coward with a gun." Cole closed his eyes. He thought about Stone, about the man he had been before the darkness took him, about the brother he had lost long before tonight. "It doesn't change anything," Cole said. "No, it doesn't." But somehow it helped. Maya found him outside the estate, sitting on the hood of a police car, Ranger's head in his lap. "The children are asking for you," she said. "They want to thank the man who saved them." "I didn't save them. Sarah did. She's the one who found them. She's the one who documented everything. Sarah started it. You finished it." Maya sat beside him. "That's how it works, Cole. The people we lose, they leave us their unfinished business, and we carry it forward." Cole looked at her, at this woman who had become so much more than he expected. What happens now? Now the trial, the testimony, months of legal proceedings. Maya shrugged. "After that, I don't know. I have an idea. Yeah, there's a piece of property outside the city. Used to be a dog training facility. It's been abandoned for years, but the bones are good." Cole rubbed Ranger's ears. "I was thinking of fixing it up. Training rescue dogs. Helping veterans." Maya raised an eyebrow. "You're going to become a dog trainer." "I'm going to become someone who helps people. Like Sarah did." Cole met her eyes. "I was hoping you might want to be part of it." Maya was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled. "I think I'd like that." Cole looked up at the sky. The stars were invisible behind the city lights, but he knew they were there. Just like he knew Sarah was there somewhere watching. "I did it, sis," he whispered. "I finished what you started." The wind stirred the trees around the estate, and Cole could have sworn he heard her voice carried on the breeze. "I knew you would." 6 months changed everything. Cole stood in front of the mirror, trying to tie a tie for the first time in years. His hands were steady now. The tremors that had plagued him since the TBI had faded to almost nothing. The headaches still came, but less often, less severe. He looked different, healthier, stronger. The hollow look in his eyes had been replaced by something that almost resembled peace. "You're doing it wrong." Maya appeared behind him, reaching around to adjust the knot. "I've tied this thing 1,000 times, Cole protested. "And you've done it wrong 1,000 times. She finished the knot and stepped back, examining him. "There. Now you look like a respectable citizen." "I don't feel like one." "That's because you're not." Maya smiled. "You're better." Today was the day. After 6 months of investigations, depositions, and legal maneuvering, Dominic Crane was finally being sentenced. The trial had been a national sensation. Every news network had covered the trafficking ring, the corrupt officials, the children who had been saved. And through it all, Cole had stayed silent. No interviews, no book deals, no movie rights. This wasn't about fame. It was about justice. The courtroom was packed. Cole sat in the front row, Maya on one side, Patricia on the other. Ranger lay at his feet, wearing his service dog vest, his one eye watching the proceedings with canine intensity. Across the aisle sat the families of the rescued children. 12 sets of parents who had thought their kids were lost forever. 12 families who had been reunited because Sarah Hartley refused to look away. The judge entered. Everyone rose. "Please be seated." Cole watched as Dominic Crane was led to the defendant's table. The billionaire looked nothing like the man who had threatened Cole in that vault. His suit was wrinkled, his hair was unkempt, his eyes held the vacant stare of someone who had finally realized that money couldn't buy everything. "Mr. Crane," the judge said, "you have been found guilty on 47 counts of human trafficking, 12 counts of kidnapping, conspiracy to commit murder, and racketeering. Do you have anything to say before I pass sentence?" Crane's lawyer whispered something in his ear. Crane shook his head. "No, Your Honor. I have nothing to say." The judge nodded. "Then I sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. May God have mercy on your soul, because this court certainly has none." The gallery erupted. Cole didn't move. He didn't cheer. He didn't cry. He just watched as Crane was led away in handcuffs, his empire reduced to ashes, his legacy destroyed. It wasn't enough. It would never be enough to bring Sarah back. But it was something. After the sentencing, Cole found himself standing outside the courthouse, surrounded by reporters and cameras. "Mr. Hartley, can you tell us how you feel? Mr. Hartley, is it true you're writing a book? Mr. Hartley, what's next for you?" Cole raised his hand, and the crowd fell silent. "I'm not the hero of this story," he said. "My sister was." Sarah Hartley spent 3 years documenting Crane's crimes. She died trying to expose the truth. Everything that happened, every child that was saved, that was her work. I just finished what she started. He paused, looking at the cameras. If you want to honor someone, honor her. Honor the social workers who risk their lives every day to protect children. Honor the people who see something wrong and refuse to look away. His voice cracked. That's what Sarah did. That's what we should all do. He turned and walked away. Maya caught up to him at the bottom of the courthouse steps. That was beautiful. It was the truth. Same thing sometimes. She took his hand. Ready to go home. Home. 6 months ago, Cole hadn't known what that word meant. Now he did. The sign above the converted warehouse read, Sarah's Shepherds, Canine Training and Rehabilitation. Cole pulled into the parking lot and killed the engine. Even from outside, he could hear the sound of barking, the laughter of children, the steady rhythm of a place that was alive with purpose. Big day, Maya said. Yeah. Today was the grand opening. After months of construction paperwork and fundraising, Sarah's Shepherds was finally ready to welcome its first class of dogs and handlers. Cole stepped out of the truck, Ranger jumping down beside him. The facility was everything he had dreamed. A main building for training and administration, outdoor runs for exercise, a medical clinic where Maya volunteered on weekends, and in the back a small cottage where Cole lived with Ranger. But the best part was waiting inside. Cole. A small body slammed into his legs. Cole looked down at Marcus, the 8-year-old boy he had freed from Crane's facility, the boy who had asked if Cole was a soldier. Hey, buddy, you ready for today? Marcus nodded eagerly. Mom said I can help with the puppies. That's right. We've got 3 new ones coming in today. They're going to need someone to show them around. I can do that. Marcus's mother appeared, her eyes still carrying the haunted look of a woman who had almost lost everything. Thank you, she said to Cole. For everything. Thanks, Sarah. She's the one who found him. I do, every day. The woman touched Cole's arm. But she's not here. You are. And Marcus. He talks about you constantly. His hero. The soldier with the one-eyed dog. Cole felt his throat tighten. He's the hero. All of them are. They survived something no kid should ever have to face. Marcus tugged at Cole's hand. Come on. The puppies are here. Cole let himself be dragged toward the kennels, Maya and Patricia following behind. The grand opening was a success beyond anything Cole had expected. Local news covered the event. Politicians showed up for photo opportunities. Donations poured in from across the country. But the moment that mattered most happened in the quiet of the afternoon. Cole was in the training yard working with a young German shepherd named Ghost when Patricia approached. Can we talk? Cole signaled Ghost to sit and turned to his mother. What's up? I just got word from the Bureau. Stone's appeal was denied. He's going to spend the rest of his life in maximum security. Cole nodded slowly. He had expected this. Stone had given up everything in exchange for a life sentence instead of death row. But the information he provided had led to the arrest of 37 officials across 6 states. Good. There's something else. Patricia hesitated. He asked to see you. Cole's blood went cold. Why, he wouldn't say, just that he has something to tell you, something about Sarah. Cole stared at her. The wound was still fresh even after 6 months. Every time he thought about Stone, about what he had done, the rage came flooding back. I don't want to see him. I know, I told him that, but he was insistent. Patricia pulled out an envelope. He gave me this. Said if you wouldn't come in person, at least read what he wrote. Cole took the envelope. It was light. Just a single sheet of paper inside. I'll leave you alone, Patricia said. She walked away. Cole stood in the training yard, Ranger at his side, Ghost sitting patiently nearby. The envelope felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. He opened it. The letter was handwritten. Stone's familiar scrawl, the same handwriting Cole had seen on countless mission reports. Cole, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But you deserve the truth. The night I killed Sarah, she wasn't afraid. Not of dying. She was afraid that no one would find the children, that everything she had worked for would be buried with her. I told her someone would come. I told her you would come. She smiled. She actually smiled. And she said, I know. Cole always keeps his promises. Those were her last words. Thinking of you, believing in you, I've done terrible things. I've become everything I swore I'd never be. But in that moment, watching your sister face death with more courage than I've ever had, I knew I was the coward. You asked me once why I changed, why I went from protecting people to hurting them. The truth is I was weak. Crane offered money power, a way out of the shadows. I took it because I was tired of fighting. Sarah never stopped fighting, even at the end. You're not like me, Cole. You never were. That's why she believed in you. That's why I believe in you too. Be the man she knew you could be. That's the only apology I can offer. Stone. Cole read the letter 3 times. Then he folded it, put it back in the envelope, and slipped it into his pocket. He walked to the far end of the property where a small garden had been planted. In the center stood a memorial stone. Sarah Hartley, beloved sister, fearless protector. She saw the darkness and chose to be light. Cole knelt in front of the stone. I got his letter, he said quietly. Stones. He told me what you said. At the end. The wind stirred the flowers around the memorial. I'm trying, sis. Every day I'm trying to be the man you believed I was. His voice cracked. Some days it's hard. Some days I wake up and I still want to kill him. I want to burn the whole world down for what they did to you. Ranger pressed against his side. But then I look at those kids. Marcus and the others. I see them playing with the dogs, laughing, being kids again. And I remember why you did what you did. He placed his hand on the stone. It wasn't about revenge. It was about saving them. All of them. Even the ones you'd never meet. Tears streamed down his face. I miss you so much. Every single day. But I promise I'm going to keep going. I'm going to save as many as I can. For you. And he stayed there for a long time, just him and Ranger, and the memory of his sister. When he finally stood, Maya was waiting at the edge of the garden. You okay? Yeah. Cole wiped his eyes. I think I am. She walked to him, taking his hand. The guests are leaving. Patricia wants to say goodbye. Give me a minute. Maya nodded and walked back toward the main building. Cole took one last look at Sarah's memorial. I love you, sis. Always. Then he turned and walked toward his new life. The evening settled over Sarah's shepherds like a warm blanket. Cole sat on the porch of his cottage, watching the sun sink below the horizon. Ranger was sprawled at his feet, snoring softly. Inside, he could hear Maya making dinner, humming a song he didn't recognize. Patricia emerged from the main building and walked toward him. It was a good day, she said. Yeah, it was. I'm proud of you, Cole. He looked at her. His mother. The woman who had abandoned him. The woman who had come back. It's going to take time, he said. I know. I can't just forgive you overnight. I don't expect you to. But I'm willing to try. Cole took a breath. Sarah would have wanted that. She always believed in second chances. Patricia's eyes filled with tears. She was the best of us. Yes, she was. They sat in silence for a moment, two people who had lost so much trying to find their way back to each other. I should go, Patricia said finally. Early flight tomorrow. Senate hearing on foster care reform. They want me to testify about what we found in Crane's files. That's good. That's important. It's because of Sarah. And you. She stood pausing at the edge of the porch. Cole, yeah. I know I said this before, but I'm sorry for everything. For leaving. For not being there when you and Sarah needed me. For all the years I can never get back. Cole looked at her, at the woman who had given him life, and then walked away from it. I know, Mom. It was the first time he had called her that since the night she left. Patricia's hand flew to her mouth. A sob escaped her. I'll call you tomorrow, she said. After the hearing. I'd like that. She nodded and walked to her car. Cole watched her drive away. Maya came out a few minutes later, 2 cups of coffee in her hands. Everything okay? Getting there. Cole took the coffee. We talked, really talked. Progress. Slow progress. The best kind. Maya sat beside him close enough that their shoulders touched. What are you thinking about? Sarah. Always Sarah. He sipped his coffee. But also the future. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually thinking about the future. And what do you see? Cole looked at the facility. At the kennels where rescued dogs were learning to trust again. At the memorial garden where his sister's memory lived on. At the woman beside him who had walked through fire with him and come out the other side. I see this, he said. All of this. And you. Maya turned to him. Cole, I'm not good at this. Relationships, feelings. I spent 15 years learning how to fight, not how to love. He took her hand. But you make me want to learn. I'm not going anywhere. I know. That's what scares me. Why? Because everyone I've loved has either left or died. My mother, Sarah, my team. He met her eyes. I couldn't survive losing you, too. Maya touched his face. Then don't lose me. Fight for us the way you fought for those kids, the way you fought for Sarah. Is it that simple? Nothing worth having is simple. But that doesn't mean it's not worth fighting for. Cole leaned forward and kissed her. It wasn't their first kiss, but it felt like the beginning of something new, something real. When they pulled apart, Maya was smiling. So, she said, what now? Cole looked at the horizon where the last rays of sunlight were painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Now we live, he said. Really live, not just survive. Ranger stirred at their feet, his tail wagging. I think he approves. Maya laughed. He's a good judge of character. They sat together as the stars came out, 2 people who had found each other in the darkness and refused to let go. The next morning dawned clear and cold. Cole woke early, as he always did, but instead of lying in bed haunted by nightmares, he got up and dressed. Maya was still sleeping. He left a note on the pillow. Gone for a run. Be back for breakfast. Love, Cole. He stepped outside with Ranger breathing in the crisp air. The facility was quiet at this hour. Just Cole and his dog, and the promise of a new day. They ran along the path that circled the property, past the training yards, past the memorial garden, past the cottage, where his new life was taking shape. Cole thought about everything he had lost. His sister, his career, his innocence. But he also thought about everything he had gained. Purpose, love, family. Not the family he was born into, the family he had chosen. As they rounded the final turn, Cole saw someone waiting at the trailhead. Maya. dressed in running clothes, smiling. "Room for one more," Cole laughed. "Always." She fell into step beside him, matching his pace, and behind them his tail held high Ranger ran with the joy of a dog who had finally found his pack. They ran toward the horizon, not as soldiers or survivors, not as victims or avengers, but as a family. The sun rose over Detroit, casting long golden shadows across the water. Cole looked at Maya, at Ranger, at the life he had built from the ashes of his grief. He thought about Sarah, about her courage, her sacrifice, her unshakable belief that one person could make a difference. She had been right, and now carrying her legacy forward, Cole would make sure the world never forgot the quiet man who had once been a Navy SEAL, the silent guardian who had become a shepherd, the broken soldier who had finally found his way home. This wasn't just an ending, it was a beginning. If this story of courage and redemption touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and share it with a friend who needs a reminder of their own strength. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a journey like this one. I pray that God blesses you with the heart of a warrior and the peace of a guardian. May He watch over you and your loved ones, protecting you from every danger and guiding your steps toward the light. If you believe in His protection and strength, please type AMN in the comments below. Because sometimes the greatest heroes aren't the ones who fight the loudest. They're the ones who fight the longest. And they never, ever give up.